Hi, good morning. You were asking about how to put embellishments on to the back plate. So right now what I have going on, this is what I'm doing today. I made up a bunch of twisted wire. And then I decided I was going to, this is the design I decided on. And I keep everything in a little box. That way all my balls don't fall out and stuff like that. And my hearts don't roll away. Anyway, so these are all separate pieces here. I'm going to just dump it out and show you. All separate pieces. Now the fun part is remembering which way to put them back. And so what I'm going to do now, I've actually scored on the very top of this. You can see that little line. That's where I know I want that one piece to be. So I've scored it with my sharp metal point. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lay solder all around, little chips of solder, not next to it, but just a little bit away, all the way around. And I'm going to heat it, make that solder flow, and then I'm done. Then I'm going to pickle it, come back in, lay all these guys on top of it, heat it from underneath, probably on the nest. If the nest is flat enough. If not, I'll heat it from underneath and on the way. But as soon as so what I will do after this has been soldered, the solder will be on here, is I'll put my pieces on, I'll flux them, put them on, and then let it dry. But they're all in one place. Then when I go in to hit it with the heat, I have less chance of them jumping all over the place. Anyways, I will show you that afterwards. Hi, hope you can see that I've placed solder. Just random little chips all around where I know that those embellishments are going to lay. Nothing fancy, just done. Okay? Alright. I haven't put it in the pickle yet because I wanted you to be able to see where the solder was. I know it looks like a mess, but all that kind of pinky stuff, that's a solder. So it's, and I used medium solder. Even though I used medium to, you know, put my bezel to the back plate, I used medium solder. That's just me. I feel like they hold better. And I'm going in quick, so I'm not worried about popping the bezel off. Anyways, that pink stuff is the solder. And you can take your pick and move it around, but you really want to, like when you have your guy on here, I'm not going to touch it because it's hot. When you have your torch, you don't want to be, let me get that in focus. You don't want to be on top because the solder follows the flame. You want to be on the side so the solder follows the flame out instead of up the bezel. Alright, that's video 3. Alright, this is the part where I'm putting flux on. I can't see while I'm recording, so just watch. So I've already put flux on here, and I dipped this guy in flux, and now I'm about ready to dip the other one in flux. Right here, I just have using up my jar of crappy flux. It's not crappy, it's just flux. Anyway, so I dip it. You don't have to knead a lot, but it's that part of what I was saying earlier is that it will help stick. This is that patience part of jewelry making. So I'm just getting everything lined up. Like I said, I'm at my bench and I've got this on a little piece of just block, so I can take it over and put it on my nest, and that way I know when I put it on my nest it'll be dry and those little balls aren't going to roll off. Let's see, is this what I want? I think that's what I want. Come in here a little. Yes, I know. Precise work. Give me that. Good grief. So this is just all I do. I just dip it in the flux. I've got my container of flux here and I just dip it in there. That's it. And then I put it on there where I want it. Grab the other one. I mean, there's probably enough flux. I don't need to set it. Oops, come back here. But you know what? Just in case. Doing the dipping. Like I said, once it dries, it's okay. It's all globby. Sometimes you can't get it off, but that's okay. Stick it in there. Just lets you have more control. Instead of things rolling off like they are right now. I'm trying to get it. I'll put the ball on. I have a heart to go on the other side. I'll put these balls on. That way I know exactly my width is determined on these 3 balls right here. My width for over here and where I want it. Oop, come back here. And then I have a little heart. Tiny itty bitty heart. Wait, where are you? Where's the darn camera? There we go. Again, flux that baby. I'm gonna put it right there, and I've already got my solder on here. Still. So I'm gonna put a little bit more flux on that one, just because that'll make me feel better. And you know, you'll find your ways to make what makes you feel better and how to do it. You know, make sure that's all the way down. I have a tiny gap right there. I'm just going to push it over a little bit so it's just kind of in the middle. And then I always look at it overhead to make sure this is exactly what I want. Anyways, that's video 4. I'm showing this to you while it's still hot on my bench. I had it on top of the brick, had it on top of the nest, on top of the charcoal, and then I noticed that this was not set right. So I had gotten it just before it had soldered, but it was still too sticky from the flux. So this was wrong and this ball was wrong. You see that? And so I dipped it, I quenched it, I stuck it on this brick, which I can poke pins in. I held it in place, and then I heated it up, and then with my pick, I pushed that ball over, and then I pushed this back in, and everything was happy. So the heart is happy and everything. So now I'm going to pickle it. Here it is, all done. Oops, there's some chickens. And yeah, there's solder all over. It doesn't matter because I'm going to cut it off and I'm going to buff it up and everything. But you know, you can see where. Let's see, can you? I'm trying to get better light here. You can see. You will be able to see, trust me, you will be able to see where the solder is joining underneath that twisted wire. I might have too much light going on here. Come back into my garage. Anyways, that's all soldered. It'll look better once it's patinaed too, and then you'll really get the definition going on.